everyone. We are here with producer Daemon Hillin, and he has a new movie coming out called The Flood. It's in theaters and on digital and on demand, July 14th. Damon, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I have a movie coming out, so I'm stoked.
It's always it's always a good thing to, or it's always a good feeling to see that about to happen, right?
Yes. All
Um,
the hard work that goes into it with all the
yeah,
people, the final fruition is great.
yeah. Can you tell us about The Flood?
Sure. So The Flood is about a prison break that takes place during a superstorm, which is causing flooding. So while the storm is causing flooding in a prison, it's bringing in alligators. So we have the sheriff department and then the prisoners that have to work together to fend off the alligators in order to stay alive.
So, they they have to fight off the common enemy. Uh,
Yes, correct. While at the same time still fighting each other. There's
love.
still some moments that you see a lot of character conflict between certain individuals and but besides that they are working together for that just to escape.
Sounds intense. Um, there were like 17 producers on this film in various capacities.
Right.
And you are one of the producers. What does a producer do? And specifically, what did you do?
Sure. Okay. So I have the produced by credit. So the film is my baby.
Okay.
I took it from the very start to the very completion of the film. I saw the packaging of the film. I saw the attachment of the director, everything from physical production to post and then to final delivery. So, as the produced by, I'm really responsible for everything in this film.
Mhm.
Um, as you go along the way, you need help as a producer, right? So financial help, you need you take on different partners. There's introductions that take place, and then those people are producers. So the produced by credit is really the person like moving the project from the very start to the very end.
Mhm.
And then there's different levels of producers that help along the way, like
Mhm.
executive producer. They will help facilitate either talent or financing or something that will help the movie monetarily.
Mhm.
Uh, Co-producers can be line producers that help physically make your movie for you, like Amy Cavell. She does all my movies. She's a co-producer in every one of my movies.
Mhm.
So yes, there's a lot of producers, a lot of introductions, and being an independent film, we don't have the luxury of this huge financing mechanism. So a lot of people have to come together in order to make a project.
Right. And I wanted to get into that because a lot of people assume that the people watching the movies understand what each person's job is, and I was really keen to dive into that. So thank you for explaining that.
Of
Uh,
course.
Now, how did the project come together, and how did you find the script, and why did you choose this project?
So the project was brought to me by one of my dear friends who also is a sales company at Filmbridge International, Jordan Dykstra. He brought me the script and he said, I have this really amazing script. It has all these different elements. It's sellable. I think you'll love it. And I think that it's great for your model, my business model slash filmmaking model.
Uh-huh.
So I read the script. Chad Law and Josh Ridgway just really hooked me. I read it. I said, "This is crazy. This is so cool." It's also a challenge because when you read it, you're like, "How are we going to make this as an independent filmmaker?"
Mhm.
Because it's so complex. So I love the challenge. I love the concept, and from from that moment of reading it, I knew that this is something that I had to just dive in right away. And
No
we
pun
all just
intended.
said, we're making it.
And you just so when you read the script,
Yeah,
were you thinking, oh my God, how am I going to pull off these alligators and water? And I mean, were you just,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It was how are you showing that there's this crazy storm going on? How do we have this set that's actually raising in water level,
mhm,
right? Because you have to be able to control that.
yeah,
And then you have water leaking from the ceiling and from the doorways, and you have these sets that are submerged, literally submerged. So the basement scene that we have, uh, when one of the alligators comes, uh, and it attacks the sheriff, um, that was probably like mid-length water. That was a lot of water. It was a bathtub. You had to literally walk down into a set that we built,
mhm,
like a big bathtub, and the complexity in which that had to be made, and then the timing on like making our shoot days. Like, is this set going to be ready in time? You know,
right.
uh,
Is
and
this
then you
set going
find
to hold up, you know,
yeah,
underwater?
exactly. It's gonna hold up, and then you start discovering like, wow, this water gets really dirty really quickly. We have to drain it a lot more. So then you're running out of time because you're discovering these production issues that come up. Um, and then you have to find solutions with your team. So always working together we had to be very meticulous with how do you get in and out of the water,
Mhm,
like two sets of shoes, and like you can't, equipment has to be thoroughly cleaned before it's put in the water because it will muck it up, and
mhm.
then it changes the whole dynamic of your shoot.
Were there any underwater shots?
Yeah, we had like
Because
some.
if the water was dirty, it would affect the shot.
Exactly. So, we had like the GoPro style kind of like alligator, like perspective kind
Mhm,
of coming from you
mhm,
that took place. So there were a few shots that were like that, and they were harder to get because trying to match the water, it becomes difficult because one moment, you're shooting one angle, and then you have to, get a reverse, but then that water has changed colors in between. So you can't get what you thought you were gonna get.
mhm. Lots of color correction,
Oh yeah.
lots of posts. Um, let's so how did you choose Brandon Slagle to direct?
So Brandon Slagle is a master at these uh independent genre films. So I've done a previous film with Brandon, Battle for Saipan, and he really blew it out of the park for me. He really impressed me. And so I knew that I needed a director in this film that could stay within budget and then work on the creative side to make up for any budgetary lack of budgetary finances that we have to like create this atmosphere. And he's the guy. He could really come in there and help make this low budget look big.
Mhm. So yeah, he could work on a tight budget, and you already knew that the shoot was going to be complex, crazy
Yeah.
effects, water, all this. So awesome, awesome. So what's also interesting to me about the role of producer is you're doing this job, you're nurturing this baby, but you've got other things you're producing as well, right?
Yes. So, I'll at one given time have maybe 4 films in post production. And those are all different stages of post production. I have like the 2 films right now, The Flood and 3 Days in Malay. I'm delivering those. So those are going to the distributor. I have Operation Blood Hunt, which is almost complete, another World War II film. And then I have another shark film that I just did. I won't say the name, but that is, that's in another stage. That's offline. So it's going to all the different departments, like their color correction and VFX and all that is taking place. So I'm managing all these movies. and then I'm also managing what I have or gearing up that's going to physical production. So I have quite a few films that are gearing up for like November, that are shooting in Thailand. So it's just this constant stream of films that you know keeps you busy.
It's like it, yeah. I mean, you not only have to do the job, but you have to do it well and get it, and make sure you are covering all of your bases on every single project that you're juggling. So,
Yeah, it's really important to have your team.
mhm,
I couldn't do this without like very talented individuals that know what they're doing, because you have to give your baby over to them and let them really like manage certain areas and aspects of that.
mhm,
And it's just that trust factor. Will they be able to perform?
mhm.
Because at the end of the day, everything comes back to me, no matter
Right.
what.
At the end
It's
of the day, you're the guy.
Yeah, correct. Any kind of financial mistakes, I end up having to cover it. Any kind of, I have to get this movie completely delivered, and no matter what, I put my name. It's my word. So
Mhm,
it's very important that I surround myself with people I could trust.
mhm. It reminds me of that line in Sunset Boulevard about Selznick. He was a great producer with a set of ulcers to prove it, you know. Um, so what advice would you give other producers that are doing what you're doing or pushing to get their projects done?
Right. So the market is ever evolving. So having a pulse on what's going on the sales side is really going to affect you as a producer. So what are the market changes, and then how does that affect what properties and IPs that you select? And then always be aware and always keep going no matter what, because you get knocked down every single solitary day. I mean, even today I've had like three things that just knocked me down, and it's like I just get back up because I'm so used to getting knocked down. You just
Mhm,
get up and you face it, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna face this. I'm gonna deal with this, and I'm gonna overcome any obstacle that is in front of me. I will
mhm,
overcome it. I think that's
mhm,
a can do. You can't be like, I'm a victim, or this was so sad. Like, you just have to go make it
mhm.
happen.
Yeah, you just have to be the water and go around and
Yeah,
go through and
exactly.
go in.
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite genre?
Wow, that a great question. I love making movies in general. However, if I could make any kind of movie, I love science fiction and I love fantasy.
Uh-huh.
So
Who are the biggest budgets?
there you go.
Uh,
It's hard to really, create these sci-fi worlds or these fantasy worlds on such a limited budget. Like I just don't think that it will play as well. So we'll get there. Those are just like, where am I going trajectory? What do I want? And
uh-huh.
that's to create these worlds. I'll get there. It's goals.
Well, I mean, I say you're there now. I mean, look at you. You literally have, a movie coming out with a bunch of other things happening. So you're
Well, thank
doing
you.
fine.
Thank you.
Um, so is what's coming next for you?
Okay, so next in August, I have 3 Days in Malay, which is a World War II film directed by Louis Mandylor, starring Cowboy Cerrone, Rampage Jackson, and also Louis Mandylor. I tested Louis out as a director, and he is a Spartan of a director. I've never seen a director so into the scene with his talent. Like, his shirt was off, he's rolling around in the
Oh my
dirt.
God.
He is just he's a leader.
Mhm,
And 3 Days in Malay turned out, but like, it's an amazing film. Will be coming out in August. It's with Saban again and Welgo
mhm,
USA. So that will be coming out. And then I hired Lewis after that film to make another film for me called Operation Blood Hunt. And you know, uh, what we wanted to do in Operation Blood Hunt was create a film that takes place during World War II, but it has a supernatural feel to it. So soldiers are put in a position where there are supernatural things happening to them with the surrounding of World War II. So that's kind of the
Nice.
gist of it. Um, and we built mechanical werewolves and radio controlled faces. It was really cool.
Awesome. Well, are you gonna be able to come back and talk to us about those when?
Love to. Yeah.
Awesome. 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 Well, Damon, honestly, it was a pleasure to talk to you and talk shop and dig deep into movie making and talk about your new film, The Flood, that's coming out. Again, everybody, The Flood comes out on digital in theaters and on demand July 14th from Saban Films. Um, Damon, best of luck on this release, and please come back and let's chat some more.
Appreciate the time.
All
Thank you
right,
so
man.
much. All
Bye.
right. Have a great one. Thank you.